Hey,
All
Bradley,
right.
welcome. Yeah, yeah,
Welcome.
yeah.
We're live. Way, we're on the air.
Woo.
Woo.
I think so. I think we are.
Let's hope, right?
Yeah. Hey, I'll go check. So
Hey,
yesterday,
while you're
yeah,
checking, I'm sending out emails to people saying, "Come on, folks, jump on. Let's do this thing."
yeah. Shame on me, I forgot. And
I was
and
planning
Bradley's
on.
just taking action, and I'm just sitting here going, "Yeah, I didn't do it."
Yeah, whatever. I didn't do it.
Well, see, I told Bradley before I clicked the play button.
Did you turn
We
on
had
my group, by the way?
yes, it did.
Oh, awesome. Okay, good.
Well, let's
Yay.
say we hope this turns on your group because it's
Yeah,
been
well.
kind of quiet. Did I say that out loud?
Ooh. My group's been kind of quiet. Is that what you said?
Well, my group doesn't have any activity because I never post and nobody else does. So,
Yeah. No, we've got some folks talking about the master class in my group, so that's good.
oh, really? Good.
Yep,
Which
yep.
which
Got
master class are you talking about?
the viral marketing master class.
Which how do you get there? Of course, I still haven't done the
You get
slide,
there.
but
You get there with wordofmouthmarketingsecrets.com. Wordofmouthmarketingsecrets.com. Jump in for free now because as soon as, like, I got to tell you, as soon as the Q&A is done and I've got some feedback from some of the current users, we're pulling the free away and we're going to be selling it. So that's the way it works.
good.
Yep. It works.
Cash speaks, baby.
Yep.
I need some more of that.
Yeah, everyone needs more cash.
We won't go down that. Anyway, so we had a lot of rain here in St.
Especially
Louis
if you have a
yesterday.
roof leak, you need more cash.
Yeah.
Mitch is selling everything on his site for a bargain. He needs
Yes.
to pay the roof guy to come out and fix a hole that was created due to biblical storms
We're
in
gonna have
St. Louis.
a roof flashing sale. How's that? How's that for
That's
a
right.
bad pun?
A roof. Oh, yes.
Flash sale,
Yes,
get it?
very nice. A flash sale.
Flash sale.
Yeah. It will be themed in aluminum. That's awesome. And mastic.
We had what the mayor is calling 1,000-year flood yesterday.
Oh dear Lord.
Lots and lots of houses got flooded yesterday here in my neck of the woods, but I'm on the top of the hill. Ha! I was smart.
You know, it's funny. We've had we've had now 2 atmospheric rivers in California since I've been back. I came back in 2015, and those 2 atmospheric rivers have done, like you said, have dumped these multi-inch events, and there's just no place for water to go.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just puddling up. Everyone needs a canoe.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Anyway, preferences. If we could only put the water where it's really needed.
That's right.
So,
Southern California, we need it out here. Come on now.
Who needs it is Nevada.
Well,
that's who needs
anyway.
it.
They don't need.
But see that. But that's the strange thing. You build a dam in the middle of a desert, right? I'm sorry.
Well, look, your taxpayer dollars in California, the California Water Project is really interesting, right? We sequester water in Northern California in all these reservoirs, lakes and things like that, and then we put it in a canal. We send it to Southern California, where all the population is, but no rain.
Right.
So it's a very strange thing. The folks in Northern California can't do any farming because we're sending water down to Southern California so people can bathe and drink. And
yeah.
And where we all are, in California, in Northern California, we're like the breadbasket of the United States for rice, tomatoes, almonds, you kind of name it. There's a whole bunch of crops that are grown in California that are distributed all over the world, and so the farmers and the urban folks in Southern California, they're fighting all the
time. Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
We digress. We're not talking about water. Come on. Come on.
We could talk about that for hours, but anyway.
Yes, we could. But we're not going to.
This is not the water show.
That's right.
Let's see. How can I turn that into today's topic?
Well, you could turn it. You know what? If you get bad quality water running into the reservoir, it sort of screws up the entire thing for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like fraudulent leads, maybe. Maybe
Huh.
not. Maybe
Maybe.
fraudulent leads are good. Who knows?
That's a great topic. Maybe we should talk about fraudulent leads. What do you think?
Maybe that's probably what today's topic should be.
Me,
Maybe we should
I,
do that. Let's do that.
I think so.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, fraud topic. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, if I were you, I'd have a little ramp up on that sound because it comes in hard.
Well, that's
Scares me every time you do it.
You're like this. Oh, is that better?
There you go. Yeah.
Up and then ramp it down. And
Yeah.
whoa, ramp it up again.
Anyway,
Okay.
I don't even remember why I thought of this yesterday or the other
I
day
don't know
when.
either. I don't know, but,
Oh,
hey, while you're still thinking about it, if you guys are watching right now and you have your own experiences with fraud and you have some questions to ask about fraud, we want you to jump into the chat box, say hi, and that way it's a conversation with not just Mitch and I, but Mitch, me, and you. That would be awesome. I can't even speak today.
grammar.
My grammar is all jacked up.
Yep.
Okay.
So the topic came up, I remember now, because, hey, by the way, in case anybody's interested, I have reopened my old Discord server. I created this some years ago, and it kind of dwindled off because I wasn't pushing it very hard. But what we have going on now is not only a general chat, but we also have a hackers chat, kind of people who are wanting to add some functionality to some of the tools that are out there that don't have functionality. And one of the things was that I requested, because you asked the question, what tools do people want? And I raised my hand, and I said what I'd like to be able to do was to have, let's say Betty, my good friend Betty Lou, opts into a campaign, whether it's a contest or anything else, right? And she refers her friend Paula. But then Betty Lou goes, well, I need 2 more leads in order to get Mitch's free thing.
For bonus. Yep, I need the bonus, baby.
I'm just going to type in my daughter's email and my second backup spam email that I just send all my junk to, and then I'll get the bonus.
Yeah.
And I said at the time in the chat, I was like, what I really want is better fraud protection.
Yeah.
One of the tools, and I don't remember which one it was, it might be Viral Loops or somebody. Might be Gleam. I don't know. It's Gleam, actually. It's Gleam. They will not give credit for a referral unless that referral takes some action within the campaign.
Yep.
And I have begged...
Like a double opt-in kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I have begged my friends over at UpViral to do something like that because it's not perfect, right? Because Betty Lou potentially can log into her daughter's email address and come in and do stuff inside the campaign or whatever. So people can still hack it. But it's better, it at least a way of dinging them in the head going, oh, well, you're not going to just do the simple thing and put their email in and move on.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, there's all kinds of crazy ways that you can adjust or use sort of manufacture email address, right?
Yes.
Isn't there a way with Gmail that you can put in a period and something else next to your
it's
address?
It's
a plus.
A plus. Right.
Okay. So your regular email plus something, and now you can create an infinite number of email addresses, and it doesn't do the guy or the gal who's running the campaign any good.
Right. Exactly.
except they'll end up with 15 different email messages for your welcome campaign and your sort of relentless encouragement and all the other stuff, right?
Right. Right. Well,
bury somebody in their inbox.
But the joy of Gmail with those pluses is that they can filter those.
Yep,
for sure. They can send those over to the junk folder, to the trash folder,
Yep.
It takes a little extra work, but
Yeah.
one of the other things I would love to see in any tool would
Yeah.
be the ability that if somebody earns the fraud, the whatever the incentive is,
Yep.
that we have the ability to hold it until it's verified, right? Because
Yeah.
right now the email goes out. If Betty
Yeah.
Lou earns that reward, Betty Lou gets an email that says, "Hey, here's your reward," right?
Yeah, for sure.
And in fact, I had this very scenario happen.
Oh.
When you sign up in my newsletter at joinmitch.com, you can
Shameless plug.
get, if you refer 3 people, then I send you an email and you get this bonus training.
Sure.
Had that happen the other day. The person who received the email didn't quite understand how they took to collect the training, so he wrote me an email.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, well, let me look into your account before I send you the how to." I mean, I thought it was fairly clear because there was a link in email that says Thrivecart, enter this coupon code, and you'll get it for free, right? Because it's a paid, normally paid.
Yep.
Obviously, that's a little too hard for some people, which, okay. But I went in and I looked, and the 3 emails were registered from the same IP address as his.
Sure. Yeah.
And those 3 emails, and I actually implemented something I had not thought of before. And I went into ActiveCampaign and I added an automation. I don't know why I've never thought of this, but you can go in and look at somebody in ActiveCampaign and see if they've ever opened an email. If you look through all the automations and you look through all the campaigns, it's difficult. So what I did was I implemented an automation that simply said, if somebody opens any email, put a tag on them that says they opened an email. So that if I look at them and I look at the tags, I can see they've at least opened an email. Don't know which one, don't care at that point, but these 3 people that were referred had not opened any of the 2 campaigns they'd been sent. They had earned no points in the UpViral campaign. They came from the same IP address. So I wrote the gentleman and I said all those things. Guess what? I haven't heard back from him. When I said, "Hey, are those real people?" ?
Yeah.
Haven't heard back from him.
Never prosper.
I wonder why I've never heard back from him.
Maybe it wasn't even a gentleman. You have no idea.
and frankly, not only is it, I'm assuming gender identity here, but since it was somebody from India, and I couldn't even pronounce the first name.
You can't presume it's a gentleman anyway, right?
I can't. Yes.
I'm not culturally literate enough to do that either. There are a number of names who cross my desk, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, can I buy a vowel? There's just really long, and that's. It's just a fault of mine. I can't figure out how to pronounce things. So
the struggle is real here, right? We have campaigns, and this is just a lead magnet kind of thing. It's not even a contest, right?
Right.
We know people cheat like crazy in contests.
Yep.
So UpViral has this thing, by the way, I don't even know if you know they have it, that's an email verify process that you can turn on, and they market this process.
Yeah.
But have you ever tried it?
I have not, because I depending on the campaign and depending on what I'm doing, I'll have the autoresponder outside of UpViral do a verification rather than.
Okay, let's talk about that. How does that happen?
So in when I add an email by an API through the email platform that I use, I can tell it that it requires a double opt-in, and they'll have to respond to the email. and that's the way it works
Okay, so you're doing double opt-in on the back end.
on the back end. Exactly. Yeah. And so for everyone who's listening, what the back end for us is, you get a lead in whatever platform it is you're working on,
Right.
a viral loops, whatever it is, and then that's connected to your autoresponder so that you can market directly to those people, and that would be considered the back end, the messages that go out that are separate from the
Right.
campaign itself,
Right.
and the transactional emails that are sent by that platform. Say, hey,
So-
you're in.
I
Mhm.
apologize. So
That's all
what kind of failure rate do you get on people doing double opt-in?
The
How many
double
people?
opt-in, the double opt-in, I'll bet we lose 30 to 35% of all the leads because of the lack of taking action on a
Okay.
double opt.
And you're okay with that,
Oh,
apparently.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So my job is to get white hot leads onto a list, not just leads onto a list. Does that make sense? Right. So
Yes.
so anybody who is on the list, my job is to purge the list of losers, of tire kickers, of people who are just freebie seekers or whatever. My job is not to amass as many email addresses as I possibly can, because I could probably do a web scrape and figure that one out. But right now, what I really want are people who are interested in the campaign. They're interested in what we have to sell. They're interested in getting help from us in particular. And if they're not opening and interacting with us in an email, then they don't last on our list very long. They just
Right.
disappear. It's too
Right.
costly for us
Right.
to continue to hold on to those names when they're not even interacting.
So here's my fear. Those 35% could be highly interactive people. They just didn't happen to get that goofy double opt-in email because it went into their spam.
Oh.
And I
That's
suspect, what did you say?
They'll just have to try again.
I suspect that they don't even know they have to do a double, go find a confirmation email because you didn't tell them to, right?
Yeah, it's not on the thank you page, and it probably should be.
So that's one of my struggles, and we just got a Kieran comment. I'll look at that in a second. One of the things that's interesting. One of the things that's interesting. I have a good friend. Her name is Christina Etheridge, and her superpower is helping people double their open rates on their emails. And she spends a lot of time studying the different factors that go into people opening.
Yep.
One of them always has been the claim that if you do double opt-in, then you're going to get a more engaged list. You're going to get the people who are really interested.
Yeah.
And not just her, but there's a big study of like 3 billion emails.
Yeah.
And that study said that double opt-in is no more effective for getting engaged people only than regular emails. And so her theory is you're just cutting yourself off to spite your face, right? Your nose, that phrase.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons why I don't do double opt-in, but I also know that gives me a whole bunch of junk, but I want to do other things to try to satisfy that. And we're going to continue to talk about some of those things. But Kieran's comment is, why not create 2 lists? Don't use double opt-in, but give points if the user clicks a link in the email, and if they do, automatically move them to a different email list. That's a very good possible process.
Create 2 lists, don't use double opt-in.
You can do the same thing with tagging, right? You don't have to necessarily have 2 different lists.
Yeah.
Depending upon the autoresponder, but
yeah.
But the struggle is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say the tagging is a great idea. That's
yes.
Flags it as at least being active.
Right. Well, and that's kind of what I was doing. What I was talking about before. The automation tags somebody as if they've opened it. Then they can go into a different automation that says, which I do implement. I have a tag that's engaged versus not engaged.
Yep.
And so I can see whether or not people are taking action over a longer term.
Sure.
It doesn't show me that if they signed up 3 days ago, whether they've opened any of the emails I've sent them, et cetera, et cetera. But the struggle, Kieran, that I have is giving points if the user clicks a link. I would love for any tool. Maybe, Kieran, maybe you need to be in our chat, because I haven't invited you. We're doing some hacky kind of stuff in this new chat on our Discord server. And maybe... I don't think I've invited you. Did I invite him? I didn't invite him.
I don't know, but we should drop a link somewhere.
Well, if you go to thankyoupagemagic.com/chat invite, that's CHATINVITE, you can get into the Discord server. But what I would love, and I've asked UpViral for this too, would be to have a custom action that is attached to a one-click link inside of UpViral, so that we could say, if you click this link, you will get 10 points. Right now, what they have to do is they have to click the link, get into the share page, click another link to execute the custom action, and blah, blah, blah. There's more work to make that happen.
So this is one of the reasons why the API would be really cool, right? Is that you can get all this information, just send them automatically an email that has a link in it that issues them automatically extra points.
Right.
And if you are running one of these software programs and you have individuals who've been with you for the 7 years or whatever, and you turn off their IP access, you're turds. This short-sighted dorkiness.
Danger.
Exactly. This is nuts. So, I mean, I could just rail on this for a little while, but I guess I'm not going to.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Yeah, so those of you who are listening, part of this chat that's going on, and to include what we're talking about here with fraud and activating different things in people's accounts, adding points and things like that. There is an API for UpViral that, if you go to my profile, I actually have an API key that I have been given access to, but I cannot use the API key that was given to me because I'm a lifetime subscriber of the software, and they don't want to release the API to me. Which is so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Again, I love my friends at UpViral, but sometimes they're a little, in my opinion, short-sighted. I mean,
way short-sighted. Way short-sighted. Could you imagine being able to get access to a platform that makes their customers' lives much easier, and they don't have to do the development for it? All they have to do is give me API access, and we'll start to churn out tools for people. And then you all get to put in your own API keys and do really cool things with your campaigns.
Yeah.
It would be a game changer.
Yeah.
We could do all of this stuff we're talking about just like this, right? So, Mitch, you're going to have to let me borrow an API key.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, we're not going there.
Come on, man.
I'm probably already on the naughty list.
My IP address.
Kieran says, I don't think that came from Wilco. I think it was somebody else's idea, and I would say, but I think I know who. I think I know
the limitation of the API?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It comes from the top, brother. I don't really care. The culture in an organization comes from the top. We could, it just makes me mad. It's stupid.
Well, there's been several things like that recently, and what you don't know, Bradley, and I'm debating whether I should even say this.
Look, it's just us girls. It's okay. Say something. It's fine. No one's gonna hear anyway. They're not watching.
I'm not going to say it because it's me. All right. And that sounds, because what's happened in the past, and this is the reason I'm not going to say it, is that they have tested things on me without me knowing it.
Sure.
And then I go in and I contact Danny, the project manager, and say, hey, this thing happened. And they go, oh, yeah, we were just testing it. So I'm afraid I would be okay with saying it, but except I haven't talked to Danny about it, so I don't know if it was something
may vary.
that they only tested on me. But this thing that they shared with that I saw was a reward for longtime users. So they're at least thinking about it.
Oh, well, that would be nice.
Yeah, wouldn't it? I think it's a very smart idea.
Absolutely. And look, I think that I'm just going to end up tapping into everybody else's API and developing these tools without UpViral, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there'll be some tools that will work with UpViral because we can trigger events based on a phony award or reward, right? 1 point reward, you come in and I at least get your contact information.
Right.
That comes across. But that's all I get. And then based on the data, I don't get a whole lot.
Right. And again, I have not dug into some of the other tools. I have not, that I recall, run into any of the other tools that have an API. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
I don't know. We'll see.
But we'll go looking.
Yeah, I thought that that King Sumo had an API.
He talked about King Sumo 2 weeks ago, didn't we?
I know. Yeah, we did. Yeah, they don't even use their own tool, right?
Yeah.
But
anyway.
Viral Loops has an API.
Do they?
I know Gleam has an API, but like UpViral, you have to be like an enterprise user of Gleam in order to get access to it.
Right.
I don't know what. I see the documentation right here for Viral Loops. I'll have to fiddle with it because I had.
I tested that earlier this year, and I did not like Viral Loops in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And their reporting is dead.
Well, so
anyway,
that's what the API can help with, right? Is some of the short, the feature set that maybe doesn't exist.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense. So I don't know that I understand the viewpoint of let's only give that to the people who paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
Does the API cost them a lot of money? Is sort of my question. And we're on a rabbit hole here.
Yeah, it might. But it might if I poll it every 30 seconds, right? But they could rate limit it.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I mean, if it gets heavy usage.
Yeah.
But the other side that we talked about was what less than 1% would even have a clue that they could use it.
Right. Yeah. Most people who are using this tool they want leads.
Right.
And they want an easy way to create a landing page. They want an easy way to generate rewards. They want an easy way to message to people, and they want an easy way for it to go viral. That's what they want. They want the easy button, and that's cool.
Right.
We're just trying to add some panache and some flair to the easy button. That's all.
Right.
And fraud is one of them, right? We can manage fraud like crazy.
And that's exactly why we went down this rabbit hole, because I was suggesting that we could do all kinds of things if there was more data and everybody had access to the API.
Yeah.
Because the API doesn't tell us things right now like points. It gives us total points, but it doesn't tell us that they earned 5 points for this action and 5 points for that one.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it doesn't give us a cause. Right, exactly.
And there are no other triggers than somebody either opts in or they earn an incentive.
Right.
And
so the incentives are only based on points, right? So even those incentives you can't segregate. You can't say, hey, look, they earned this reward because they clicked this specific button. You don't get that.
Or they referred a person. Right. Which is why we've always begged for I've been begging for this for 4, 5, 6 years. The ability to have points-based rewards, or simply somebody did a referral.
Right.
We don't have that yet. It was marked as in work at one point on the UpViral feature request list, but it's never been implemented if it's been worked on at all. Don't know.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that their wish list gets regularly worked on. So
No.
like it's but it is what it is.
Anyway.
So let me ask you, in your experience, is fraud always bad?
No.
Okay.
It's not. It depends. There's my favorite answer: is it depends.
Great.
Right?
What does it depend on?
Well, it depends upon who the fraudee is.
Okay.
I'll give you an example, and it's a negative example, but maybe it would have turned out. But I had one young man who entered 600 referrals manually.
Wow. Wow, manually?
Yeah,
That's
because
impressive.
he
That
went
guy's a
through.
workhorse. Can we hire him?
I know. I thought about this. So what he did
That's
was he
awesome.
went through the university phone book.
Oh, goodness.
And he took every person from the university because they all had the same .edu address.
Yeah.
And I sent him an email and I said, "Hey, I see what you're doing."
Right. Yeah.
And he said was, "Oh, I posted posters all over school, so these people are doing it on their own, right?"
Uh-huh.
So, how do I prove that? Well, number one, none of those people were earning any points. That was the point that I made a little while ago, right? That
Yep.
they wouldn't get credit unless somebody earned some points.
Yep.
Number
For sure.
two, I sent an email to 20 of them.
Yeah.
Got no answers from any of them because I said, "Hey, you registered for this contest. I'm just doing a verification that
Sure.
and nobody replied.
Yeah.
And so I talked to him again. I sent him another email, told him all this stuff, and he says, "The contest is over." And I'm like, "You're not going to win."
That's
And
right.
he says,
You've been rejected.
"You've been
Denied.
banished." And his final response to me was, "Well, that's okay because I got caught cheating and I've been kicked out of school."
University.
I was like, "Oh man."
You know what?
But
though? It would there's some marketing genius in all of this, right? You could have said this contest is so exciting that one student decided to spend all of his nights and every weekend going through the directory and typing in information so he could win it.
yep.
This is an offer so good he's willing to crawl through broken glass
to get it. Yeah, he did. And he got him kicked out of
amazing
school. I don't know. It is. But so your question originally was, could fraud be beneficial? Now imagine those 600 people at the university.
Yeah.
If it was an offer that was insanely good for those people, some kind of a whatever that would apply to them.
Yeah.
That could be great. This guy's doing what I want him to do, right? He's trying to cheat by putting in people that may be interested in my offer.
Right.
But that's about the only way I could think that it might be good was that way.
We could have maybe what we should have is we should have viral campaign cheating rules or like a undisclosed way to legally cheat. And one of those is that he could have taken all of those names in that directory and simply sent them an email himself to say, "Here's this really cool contest that I think you might be interested in. All you have to do is click this link and drive traffic to this thing." And he could have on his own probably converted a lot of folks, but he was
Yeah.
doing it the nefarious way, the secret,
Yeah.
super secret squirrel way.
Yeah. Yeah.
and super secret tool doesn't work.
Do you
Um,
have an answer for that question, by the way? Do you think there's
I
a way that that's good?
So the only reason I think that fraud is good is exactly what I was saying is it's an amazing marketing ploy, right?
Right. Right.
Is it's like being trolled online. If you're being trolled online, it's easy to turn that stuff around and say, "Hey, look at me." Y'all feel like I'm either dangerous enough or powerful enough that you have to troll me online. Well, let me show you what the power is that I have, or let me demonstrate why you're a dork, and then provide an offer at the same time. So I think that is the only, in my view, the only sort of upside to it. But there's a lot of downsides to include. It throws off your metrics,
Yeah.
right? All of the information that you get from these campaigns, you have no idea how well you're doing if you have a whole bunch of fraudulent leads. You don't know what the conversion rate is. You have not a clue. And you have this sort of false sense of performance that that can get you really, really distracted.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I think that and this is another reason why I think an API would be really great, right? You get all that information, you could kind of do some of this filtering on your own, and then get a reset or a new set of calculations that show the real performance of
Yeah.
the campaign
Yeah.
that filters through all this BS.
Well,
So,
and I don't think I've ever shared this with you, but I've had a couple of campaigns that had a stink load of fraud. Besides that one, I ran a campaign for a client early 2020 that was for a cryptocurrency
oh yeah,
fraught
I think
with potential.
I think I remember that campaign. Yeah, I think I remember
Yeah.
that campaign.
And what I ended up doing, because as much as we're talking about the API, all of the data is in the export CSV.
Right. Yep.
And so what I have over the years, I have created what I call the People Master spreadsheet.
Yep.
And it has all of the data. It has like 12 different possible fraud indicators,
For sure.
and it flags those for each person.
Yep.
And it's a great way of looking at the data. And one of the things that it also does, by the way, is it shows you the impact. Now, this could be done fairly easily with the API, but let's say our good friend Betty Lou invited Paula, and Paula has this huge network.
Yeah.
And Paula invites 100 people, and those people invite another 100 people. So
Yeah.
one thing that I've always wished for was the ability to say, what was Betty Lou's impact, right? The first person on the chain.
Yeah.
Because she may only get one referral. If that
Right.
referral brings me 1,000 leads,
Right.
then thank goodness for Betty Lou, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Well,
in
and
in the
maybe
spreadsheet, we do that.
I was gonna say maybe in these tools that we're working on, we'll find a way for you to upload the CSV and then do some machinations on this thing
Yeah,
and create like maybe a link tree or something like that where it says, hey, this
right.
person came ultimately from this is the ultimate parent from that.
Well, and
It should
and
be
for,
really fascinating.
it is fascinating because I have all of that in the spreadsheet. Because if you
Cool.
click on Betty Lou's name,
Right.
it will show you her entire downline and every point,
Oh,
everyone,
good.
whether they're fraud or not. I've already developed it. It's just in a
That's awesome.
goofy Excel
Perfect.
spreadsheet.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
the only way to get the data in there is to manually download the CSV,
Right.
copy and paste it into the spreadsheet. And it's
Yeah.
that's the thing that people go, "Oh, well, oh, that's painful." I'm like,
That's
"Yeah, I
well,
know,
that's one of the
but
reasons that's one of the reasons I was saying that maybe that's what one of these tools we can create, right? Is you just upload the CSV, just bloop, here it
right.
is, and then you have a dashboard that has a lot of this
Yeah,
information. That would be really fun.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a phenomenal help, by the way, in that cryptocurrency thing because I eliminated out of the top 100 people,
Mhm.
I eliminated, I think, 70% of them as fraud.
Yeah.
And
Wow, that's
I got some
pretty
pushback on that. Well,
yeah.
we were offering people the winner was, I think, I don't remember exactly, $5,000 of this coin.
Yeah, yeah.
And if that went ballistic, people could be millionaires from that if,
Yeah.
So, and that's, by the way, one of Wilco's favorite examples is somebody that did a campaign like that
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago. Got 230,000 leads in 10 days. It was all cryptocurrency, and they were giving away coins.
Yeah.
You referred 5 people, and you got $40 of this coin. So
Wow.
why wouldn't people do that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so one of the things, it's already 42 minutes into the show. One of the things that I have implemented, by the way, which is what we were talking earlier about, UpViral has this fraud. So they have fraud detection, but they also have this extra tool that you can turn on that I believe they're still using Email List Verify as their back end.
Oh, they are. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That verifies them on the back end after they've already been registered and potentially sent to your autoresponder. And then it raises the flag and says, oh, that person could be fraud. And I've had
we're going to give you junk, but, don't mind us.
Yeah. And the conversation, and Danny was online when we were doing the Copilot show, the product manager for UpViral. Yep. And several people in the comments said, I want that on the front end.
Yeah.
Now, there are tools, and I have one that I use called Debounce. And if you want to know more about that, you go to thankyoupagemagic.com/debounce. Because if you buy it, I get an affiliate commission.
Yay.
But the thing of it is, and I could show you a quick demo if you want to see it. Can we do that really fast?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't switched views. I haven't done anything today.
Let's get crazy. The people who are online watching this, they want to see something different than you and me talking to each other. I mean, I could throw stuff through the camera and try to hit you with it.
Yeah.
Poke you in the ear or something over here.
So this is a campaign that I am giving away some Canva templates. It's an UpViral campaign. It's hosted on UpViral. Yep. If you click the button, up pops the button. You put in your name, but here's the email. Watch this. pm.g. That's my Gmail account. I'm sorry, pm. I got these shortcuts. pmg.
Okay.
And if I type correctly,
you gotta type right. Shortcut, text expander, and all these other tools, they only work if you type it right.
Yes, I know. So once I leave this, whether I click here or hit tab, notice this happens over here.
Yeah.
And it says the email address is verified.
Nice.
Now, if I put in something like this, @sucks.com, it says no, right? That's a bad email. This is what I want a tool like UpViral to do, because it does a couple of things. I'm going to come back out of there. It does a couple of things. Number one, it shows people that you care, right?
Right.
It tells them that you're checking for fraud.
Yep.
Now, I shouldn't have switched out of that. I should go back to that. Where's my screen thing? Notice I also put in this pop-up. I agree, typing in someone else's email will eliminate me from ever getting anything else ever free from Mitch, ever. Right?
I agree that if I put in somebody else's email address, I will be banned for life. Banished from the internet and never have access to anything associated to Mitch ever again.
Ever.
That's awesome.
So
someone's gonna reach through my internet connection and unplug me forever. I love it. That's awesome.
But so what I'm trying to do through techniques of psychology is to get them to be honest.
Right.
And I put it on the thank you page, by the way. Yep. Won't go through that, but on the thank you page, right above where it you have the copy your unique link.
Yep.
I put in words like putting in somebody else's email address for them will eliminate you. Those kind of things, right? But we have to go through these kind of tricks to get some of these scammers to go, oh, I'm just not going to try.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's unfortunate because it can kind of screw around with the headspace of the people who are legitimate, right? You have to be clever as to how you do this and not get people distracted. Have you tested that against a sort of A/B version of the same campaign? I just curious whether or not.
I want to. I just have not had the high volume campaigns. I've been putting these on my own lead magnets, and I'm not driving people to them with ads or anything. So I'm getting low volumes of people coming through. So I haven't split test, but I definitely want to do that.
Yeah, I think that would be good. It would be interesting to see what the responses are, and especially that little checkbox, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm convinced that most people click the checkbox and don't even read it.
Well, sure.
So, so it probably won't change things at all.
Yes.
But it makes you. I mean, it would make me feel better to know that somebody had to click the box and say, "Yeah, I'm not being stupid."
Yeah.
I'll know. I'll be flagged for fraud. And Interesting.
I also turn on, by the way, the ability to send somebody an email when the tool flags them as being fraud.
I do too.
It causes some confusion. Yep. I have people write me and go, I didn't really mean to do that. Or my mom and dad live with me and we're at the same IP address, same router, blah, blah, blah. Those kind of things happen all the time. But I'd rather... Go ahead.
Pretty standard message. I have a pretty standard message that goes out to say, well, I think you may be violating the rules to this campaign, but I'm not really sure.
Right.
What I'd like for you to do is hit reply and let me know how it is you're entering information. And I get those kinds of responses too. They go, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. We've got like 3 people live in the same house or whatever. Okay, that's fine. Then I will not flag you as fraud. It's okay. But for the people who read that and go, uh-oh, I've been caught, I never hear back from them, and that's kind of a verification that, you were doing stuff you weren't supposed to be doing.
Yes. And this, by the way, since we're in this conversation, I will preach this until my eyes go blue. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Do not let any tool send a winner's verification automatically.
Yeah, I was going to say that I was thinking about that about 15 minutes ago, thinking, so if everybody is paying attention, this sort of underlying message here is you better take control of the award process. Don't allow the system to do it automatically, because the algorithm behind it, all it's doing is grabbing a random number and giving you a result. If you haven't examined the data, and this is the other thing I would suggest, is not announcing the winner until at least a few days after the campaign is over, to give you time to do the analysis on the data and really verify the information. Don't game it so that you have one person winning versus somebody else. Go through and legitimately look at what the fraudulent process looks like and entries that are coming in.
Yeah.
Quality of the data.
Look at the damn data. It just slays me.
Let me ask you, does your spreadsheet that you have created that nobody wants to copy and paste the CSV into, does it automatically give you a recommended selection?
It does not.
Okay.
Because I simply didn't want to worry about that. Firewall already has that in their tool, so I didn't want to spend time coding. Because again, and I have seen people do this, they've said, well, okay, I'm going to take up Firewall's spreadsheet or some tool, and I'm going to just do a random.org. There's 500 people that entered my campaign. I'm going to put 500 in random.org and pick whichever number, that person wins.
Yeah.
I'm like, but that did not take into account that Betty
it
Lou
doesn't-
has
Yeah,
50,000 entries.
That's
Right?
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know UpViral did it that way. Like, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
That's the whole point of it, right?
Yes.
And so, yeah, you could, I mean, that's kind of where I was headed did you spend the time coding this thing? Because, I mean, you could, but if what you're doing is, are you then, let me ask then, are you going and looking at the data and then going back to UpViral and removing or flagging additional email addresses as fraud and then picking
It's too
from
much
there?
work. It's too much work.
So you just have it pick, and as long as the winner is not a fraudulent
in the
entry.
spreadsheet. In the spreadsheet. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Well,
Nice.
and by the way, and I am plugging this because I do have the spreadsheet for sale if you want to come buy it.
Yeah.
If you mark somebody, you were talking about marking them or removing them UpViral. It's just too much work to go do that because you have to search for them. You have to, it's just painful.
Yeah.
In my spreadsheet, if I mark Betty Lou as fraud, that flags everybody below her. That says those people came from a fraud thing. So if the rest, because if I pick Paula in my example, the random draw in UpViral picks Paula.
Yeah.
It's nice for me to know that Betty Lou was flagged as being a scammer person.
Right.
UpViral doesn't have a clue. And if I just look at her data inside even the CSV, Paula looks kosher. She may be kosher, right? She may be somebody that's valid, and I look at all the other flags in the spreadsheet that say, she brought in people, she earned points, she took action. Okay, I'll give it to her. But I at least know that she came from somebody that cheated.
Yeah.
It's just another indicator of stuff that I want to know when I'm looking at the people, which UpViral doesn't give you any of that data. Gleam gives you nothing, just to be clear. Viper gives you, in the reports, how many people did Paula or Betty Lou send in? That's it, right? You get no other data. You can't download all the data. Again, it's one of the reasons why I continue to use UpViral, even though I complain about things, and they know I complain about things. There are things that I would like to see improved, which is true for Microsoft Word and Excel, every other tool, right? So I caveat every down thing with, I still love UpViral. It's the best tool because I can do the most things with it.
Yeah.
It has the most flexibility. It has the most resources. I can download all this data and look at it in my spreadsheet, which shows me all kinds of crazy stats that UpViral doesn't have.
Right. Yep.
So,
And then
go ahead.
So when you're doing the data, you're downloading the CSV regularly every week
Daily.
or
Daily.
Okay.
If I'm doing a campaign for a client,
yeah,
I want to have the data, especially because the statistics spreadsheet shows charts, daily charts. So I got to have the data every day.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
And even, unfortunately, some of the data I can't glean from the CSV. That UpViral shows me some stuff. So there's a couple of things I have to go in every day and look at UpViral and like screen scrape visually, manually. But that data, the collection of data, with the charts to show trends and everything else, it's just insane how much you can figure out.
Right.
But you have to have the data, which is why I hate the other tools, because I don't have the data to create these things with. And if we could get all that data from an API, you're like, we could create the most insane reporting system.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have this really awesome dashboard of performance, right? But then you can also create all these really cool tools that communicate in different ways. They can communicate back to the campaign owner, to one of our clients. We could, you know, we could even create social posts about, the way things are going.
Right. A
You
leaderboard.
could, yeah, and not just any sort of leaderboard, right?
Exactly.
You could do some really cool, fun
E-
stuff um
Exactly.
with it, and yeah, it's too bad. Too bad I haven't been given access to the API with
Huh.
UpViral. So if anybody
You
knows anybody over at UpViral and they're willing to give me access to the API, because apparently I don't have it and their customer support won't let me have it, um, we could do some pretty cool stuff. It'd be fun.
the people that can advocate for the tools
Yes.
are the power users that do the best job of. I mean, just look at me. I'm the ultimate example because I am the best. Um,
Not only that, but they're afeared of you. They're
yeah,
very afeared of you.
yeah, that is true too. Let's not go there. Um,
Oh, man.
but it is what
Kieran,
it.
hit
Yeah,
me up, what he says.
yeah.
I got you.
I mean, to to some degree, all that does of limiting people that have been the most supportive
Yeah,
causes people to go behind the scenes and still accomplish the same thing, right?
that's right. Yeah, could have been above board, right? Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
good.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to say about fraud? I could still talk about this for probably another hour, but
No, I don't. I've learned a lot from you today, and I appreciate you bringing up the topic. It is something that we don't talk about enough, I don't think. And my few takeaways in all of this is, don't let the machine select on its own and
yeah.
send out the announcement that somebody gets it. Be very careful how you're providing rewards for individuals because they may be stacking the deck illegally. And pay attention to the data like we've been talking about during this entire thing. So, how do people get a hold of this spreadsheet if they want it?
Right now you just got to contact me because I am I it is in my new Magic Hat. My daughter came up with this name. She said, "Why don't you call it the Magic
Magic
Hat?"
Hat.
Because of
Uh,
Mitch Magic.
pulling
Uh,
pulling stuff
you
out
know,
of the Magic
pulling
Hat.
stuff out of the Magic Hat. You get it?
I
He's
do.
looking for, and I
I
have
have
some.
a top hat. It's around
Do
here
you?
somewhere.
Do you
Yes,
really?
I
I keep
do.
thinking I'm gonna go
Um,
buy.
yeah,
uh,
hold on. Hold on.
especially if I'm gonna call it the Magic Hat. But so I'm building a new store that has all of these things. Look at that. That has
It's
the
dirty.
free and
Now I can't
the.
hear you because I'm not plugged in anymore.
Oh, dang it. So what I was
Yep.
saying is that
Yep.
I'm probably about a week away from having the Magic Hat ready to take in new people. But anybody that subscribes to my newsletter
Yep.
will gain access, and there will be some really cool free stuff in there. There will be my new membership where people can get all of my
Yeah.
recordings and stuff, and it's all going to be in one spot. But that people master spreadsheet is going to be one of the things that's up for sale.
That's awesome. And maybe what I should do is I should add another lesson in all of the masterclass talking about fraud because I didn't even talk about it.
Yeah,
What I talk about is how to make sure that you are targeting the right people, how to make sure that you understand how to create an offer that's so powerful that people are willing to crawl through broken glass to get the anatomy of the opt-in page and the thank you page, and some copy and paste copy that you can drop in the box, and that way you can create a campaign in, I don't know, less than 30 minutes probably,
yeah.
as long as you have the offer already created. And then how do you get people engaged and continue to drive these campaigns forward? And if anybody wants to get a version of that, you just have to go to wordofmouthmarketingsecrets.com and jump in. Do it before it turns from free to paid, because now's the time. And give me some feedback. And there'll be another masterclass course that comes out after this and has to do with email marketing, and that'll be a lot of fun too. It'll be sort of a springboard off of after you get the leads. Now, what do you do with them?
Yeah.
And there we go. So
that's a vital thing, and I've often thought I should create something like that. But anyway, I do want to say one last thing before we land the plane. I didn't tell you this, by the way, since I just said land the plane. Yesterday, while the storm was going on here in St. Louis, as I was sleeping, I periodically have these dreams. But yesterday night, is that a phrase? Yesterday night, I had a dream where 4 planes crashed right around me. One of them, within about 20 feet of me, crashed and killed somebody in this dream. And but here I am saying, before we land the plane.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm torn. The thing I want to say, sorry, the thing I want to say, don't let our conversation about fraud scare you away from doing any of this.
Oh gosh, no.
Fraud is a small portion of handling this. And frankly, I would like to say it's an advanced topic, right? People who are just getting started don't give a patootie. Don't do double opt-in. Don't do any of this stuff. Just build your list and get started. And then come back and watch this episode later when you go, wait a minute. Somebody said something about fraud. And if you go to, by the way, let me put this up because I keep forgetting about it. If you go to hearmitch.com, you can see all the past recordings. And at the top of the page, there's a search box. And you can search for certain words. If you remember a phrase like fraud, of course, this episode's going to come up with 6,000. But, so what was Kieran's question is, what was Bradley's URL again?
It is wordofmouthmarketingsecrets.com. Wordofmouthmarketingsecrets.com.
Could you make it any longer?
I could. Wordofmouth marketing secrets to your success.com, but I'm not going to do that one.
Nice. Mr. SEO in his domain names. All right. Thanks, Bradley. Will we be here next week?
I hope so. I hope so. I'll be coming back from a backpacking trip, so I hope so.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yep.
Stay clear of cliffs.
There are no cliffs where I'm going.
Okay,
Just really cool pine and granite and lakes. I'll be in the Sierras. Awesome.
Good for you. I'll be here.
Okay.
Digging out from the flood. All right, we'll see all y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.